Welcome to D Speaks You Think. We are right here live once again at Rolling Out. And this is D Speaks You Think. I am Dunamis D, Pastor D, and we got some real talk, you all, about life and relationships. Now, there's nothing that you can't talk about life and relationships, and you don't deal with the emotions, you don't deal with the mental aspect, you don't deal with the sexual aspect, you don't deal with the social aspect. But today we're going to really have some great talk as it's going to relate to some things that people don't really talk about. And that's vagina talk. We got some real talk for you based upon the vagina. Yes, I said it, VAG, the vajayjay. All right. But I have a powerful woman, you all, with me here. Her name is Celeste Curry. But before I introduce her, allow her to introduce herself, I want you to tell someone. Tune in to rollingout.com. D Speaks You Think. Share it, tag someone, text someone, do whatever you have to do so they can hear about this great dialogue pertaining to the vagina. Celeste Curry, how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for asking me to come on and be with you.
You know what? You got some great things going on.
Whew,
and
that's a lot.
It's a lot, Well, shall I say, we have some great things going on.
Do.
We have some great things going on, but this is what we do here in the wonderful mastermind group that we're about under the auspices of the one and only Lamar Tyler, Traffic,
Woo.
Sales, and Profit. Woo, woo, woo.
Yes.
And I always have to state that because this is where our connection began.
Yes,
This is how
absolutely.
we have come into alignment for our purpose and what we have been created to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell them before we get into some real talk, because I think we're going to kind of like shock some consciousness today.
Yeah, it'll be something.
Will it be something? Will it be something?
It's going to be something. I'm excited.
I appreciate your boldness.
Yes.
I appreciate you walking out and coming out and being bold live
Yes.
to talk about it. But tell them a little bit about you.
Well, I'm Celeste Curry, and I'm a licensed counselor, and I've been a therapist for 22 years.
Woo.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I'm also a natural health practitioner, and so I kind of combine both of those to create my business, PurVag, where we help women nurture their sacred space through unique products and trainings on how emotions impact reproductive organs. And then I'm also the COO of my daughter's business, Shy La Chef, and she's a vegan chef, and she teaches young people how fun and awesome it is to be healthy and wonderful products.
Awesome. So you a businesswoman, entrepreneur, mother. I mean, you just wrapping it all in one, taking care of your sacred space.
Yes.
We still got to take care of that sacred space. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
People lose sight of that, but we have to continue to, and seriously, KNEAD, our own emotions.
Yes. Love the way you said that.
Our own emotions. For me, I love what you do. And we had Dr. Laura last time.
Love Dr. Laura.
Atlanta Couples Therapy from that therapist standpoint. And you're a therapist, I'm a therapist. We got a lot of therapeutic stuff going on. But taking it from the head to the heart to the vagina, I'm going to have some men on here talking about the penis and just all that stuff because it's a process of how we live and take care of ourselves.
Absolutely. And people oftentimes don't make the connection.
Okay, what's the connection for you, Celeste? How have you made that connection?
Okay, so as a natural health practitioner, I do a lot of workshops and seminars on organs and their corresponding emotions. So many people don't realize that when there is a physical issue, 90 to 95% of all illness has an emotional root cause.
Yes, it does.
So they might go to the doctor or go somewhere. They get a pill, right? And the pill, they think the pill is actually going to work when the root cause is emotional. And when the root cause is emotional, it's going to be an never-ending cycle.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
where the issue is going to be exacerbated. So if someone comes to me and they have sugar issues, then my first question is, who are you feeling sorry for, yourself or someone else? Because the emotion that's linked to the pancreas is sorrow.
It's sorrow.
Right. So we'll get to the vagina and the
And we got to work our way down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of like do a little foreplay here.
Right. This is a little foreplay. So every organ has a corresponding emotion. So that's the reason why I'm so passionate about this area because that's the only way to arrive at a true state of health.
So I'm going to ask you some more questions because I am an emotional healing hype. I believe in emotional healing. I started my journey, D Speaks You Think, Dunamis Woman, all of that as a result of emotional healing.
Yes.
And for us, particularly as Black women, we don't do therapy, like we should. We try to cover up a lot of our emotions with a lot of stuff, and I don't want to get into that. But at the root of it, we're still seeing the manifestation of our pain.
Yes.
We see the manifestation of our pain in
Yes.
our life,
Yes.
in our relationships, with our children, our community, our society, just we as a people, period.
Yes.
And it's a hard thing to face, But for me, teaching it from a spiritual perspective and taking it where I do believe in the word of God, but I do believe that it's not producing what it needs to manifest for our lives as much as we quote it, because we have not rightfully dissected it
Yes.
according to who we are and how he beautifully, wonderfully, fearfully made us.
Yes.
So you're saying that the pancreas is always knowing that there's some sorrow there.
Right.
Okay.
If there is any deficiency there, that means the emotional aspect of that, you have to deal with the sorrow.
Okay.
And I know because many years ago my sugar was up. I didn't have a diagnosis or anything, but my sugar level was up. And so for 2 weeks, I just dealt with emotions, and I went into meditation. After 2 weeks, it went down, never came back up.
How do you go into meditation when you have all this stuff on your mind?
Well, of course, meditation is quieting the mind.
Yes, it is. I know.
When I first started
Yeah.
meditating, I was thinking about, oh my gosh, I got to take a kid here. I got to pick up this. I got to go to the grocery store. You do that, and you have to
You have to rest and relax.
You've got to let yourself off the hook. You don't have to be perfect. And so I was trying to perfect it initially the first time. And what I had to do was just let myself off the hook. And once I did that, my mind started to rest, and the overthinking decreased so that my mind could be at ease.
For me, with the emotional therapy, the emotional healing, when just hearing you talk, I think about it when in Hebrews, when God say, enter into my rest.
Yes.
And that rest, we don't know how to do that. I'm a how-to freak. I teach you. I mean, everybody can tell you what to do. But realistically, you go to a conference, you can go to church, you can go to a school, you can go a whole lot of places. You can even go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you go back into your environment, you go back into where you have all these toxics and things that's in your atmosphere, you don't know how to enter into the rest that God has for you within your own mind.
And it's interesting because as a believer, I used to think that meditation was off. It was wrong. There was something that was just right, many years ago, 20 some odd years ago. And then I was reading in the Bible one day that when they went out to find Isaac's wife, he went out by the tree to meditate. I guess he wanted them to get it right. And so I was like, wow.
Yeah.
There's something to this meditation thing, and it has transformed my life.
From a religiosity standpoint, we don't talk about it. We don't teach about it. We make it think it's some psychic stuff that you're going into. But if you really understand the true meaning of it, that's where your rest is. That's where you bring your emotions in alignment with your mind, and not allow your emotions to overrule your thinking. But now you understand the true power that you have in your mind. That's Dunamis. You know what I mean? That's that miraculous force. And you only you can do that. Only you can govern that and deal with that. Let's talk about the intestines.
Okay.
What is that connected to emotionally?
Feeling stuck.
That's what people constipated.
Feeling stuck.
Yeah.
So when people feel stuck and they don't know how to get out, it does. It's going to cause congestion in any area. And the intestines, when there are issues there, the person oftentimes feels stuck. They just don't know what to do. And when you use the same thinking that got you in to try to get out, it is the most confusing and stressful cycle, and it causes a great deal of anxiety. Then it starts to kind of make its way to other places.
So that saying that you're full of...
Yeah.
It does have true meaning. You know what I'm saying? We say it from maybe a derogative standpoint or a facetious standpoint or whatever. But if you really think about it, I mean, because I'm into, keeping myself cleansed out. It's part of my emotional health. Yeah. You know what I mean? When I get worn down and I'm heavy in my intestines and my colons, I can feel it. You know what I'm saying? It enlarges things about me. But main thing is I get frustrated. Yeah. I get frustrated. I was like, and my daughters always tease me, Ma, you're always cleaning yourself out. You always, but it's real too. And when I come back, and this is the amazing part, Celeste, seriously. Since, coming from Chicago, rush town, people knowing everybody, you always got do. That's the environment that I came in. When God had me come away, I first went to Birmingham, Alabama, didn't know a soul. Wow. Got stole away within my own self for 2 years. It was the best time of my life. It was hard at first, don't get me wrong, because my mind was always accustomed to racing, moving, dealing with things. You know what I'm saying? But when you're in a place where you really don't know no one can knock on your door, they really don't call your number, they don't ask you to do things, you're not ripping and running with girlfriends and trying to rescue people and take care of things and stuff. With all the stuff that I had gone through with my divorce and my pastoring and just people stealing away, it changed my whole shift of my body, as well as dealing with my emotions.
Yes.
Now, when I go back, my body has a whole totally different turn. When I come back into my safe, humble abode of all the rest and the peace, it's like my whole body just relaxes and flushes itself out.
Trained.
It's you looking at me like you got it. You know what I'm saying? But that's amazing.
It is.
That's amazing. When toxics and certain mindsets come in my environment, I feel the shift in my emotions and in my body, and I know that that's not who I am. That's not how I operate.
Absolutely. And when that has happened to me, I literally take my hands. I might look crazy when I do it. I literally take my hands and I do this, and I say shift back several times. And I tell my mind and my
Take your
body,
shift back.
Shift back.
Okay.
Because I'm in control.
Yeah.
God
yeah.
has given me that. I'm in control. And I shift back, and everything within me shifts.
And everything around you shifts.
Everything
around you. You know, you even have in my own environment, I understand I have the ability. That's Dunamis, to shift other people's mindsets in my environment.
In your movie, it's yours.
Now, when I can't do it in your movie. I can't do it in your environment. But that's the power. That's the authority. That's what I have been given to keep my mind.
Yes.
And my emotions at a place of stability. But a lot of people don't know how to do that because they're timid. You know, they're always pleasing people. You know, they want to make people happy. They want to make people comfortable, and they're not happy within themselves.
Yes. I love what Lisa Nichols said. She said, people get up and they go straight to social media to see who liked what. She said, well, I get up in the morning and I like myself.
Yeah.
She said, your like is extra.
I love it.
Yes.
Hit your own like button. And then sometime you wake up and you just lay there and meditate for a minute. Don't always jump up doing things. How is that connected to the emotional state?
It puts you in a place that starts your entire day out creating a reference point of peace. So if the day does kind of fall off a little bit, you have that reference place to come back to already. And because you created it in the morning, it takes that long to get back to.
Instantly.
But when you get out the bed and you start going, the middle of your day when it gets going, it's a little more difficult because you didn't create that safe reference place for yourself that morning.
I want to go to the kidneys.
Okay. The emotion that affects the kidneys is fear. Yeah, so which is the reason why when people say in movies or wherever, I almost peed on myself. Right. So fear affects the kidneys. So you see a lot of people with kidney issues, and yes, there's some other things, blood pressure, other things that kind of affect it. But if that person is fearful, I'm thinking about someone close to me right now that has kidney issues that's actually on dialysis. I also think back to how fearful she has been. And I'm not saying that every person on dialysis is completely fearful, because there are some other factors, medications that affect the kidneys and different things. But I know this particular person, she was afraid of everything that could possibly happen. That probably would never happen. But fear affects the kidneys.
From a spiritual standpoint, I understand that the toxics, it lies in the deepest seat of our emotions. And that can affect your kidneys. It's amazing how 80% we're the highest on the chart as a black women, black African American race, of kidney failure, kidney this. It's connected to your heart. You know what I mean? And so we hold things in. As women, we are incubators. As women, we harbor within our feelings. And it's the deepest seat of emotions. Even when David said in Psalms 139, he know my reins. It means he knows my kidneys. He knows that which is in the deepest seat of my emotions, that I don't even speak about, that has come to try to destroy me. He knows that.
Well, the research by neuroscientists show that now it's interesting because we've known this as believers for a long time because the Bible talks about it, but scientists fought back and forth on this until they finally had to conclude
Mm-hmm.
about how the brain is made. But what they found is that there's no place in the brain to hold fear.
Mm-hmm.
There's no place for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the brain has to grow branches,
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
branches,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to hold it, which creates an imbalance, which creates
Mm-hmm.
dis-ease.
Dis-ease.
And then that's how the organs begin to be affected by whatever emotion it is. Because we were never created to experience it for any length of time.
And so when he tells us to fear not, it's because we're now releasing ourselves of what we can't obtain,
Absolutely.
what we can't hold.
Right.
We weren't built that.
We weren't created for it.
So when we harbor these feelings or we're holding these things in, it affects us adversely
Yes.
because we were never made for that.
Right. Absolutely.
We were made to be bold, to be powerful, to be who we are, walk in it every day.
To forgive. And
To
love.
forgive,
Yes.
to love. We are love.
We are.
We are love. I am forgiving. I am peaceful.
Yes.
Why do we think it's so strange when we confess that and really mean that and live in it?
Yeah. No, when I tell you what peace we often forfeit, it's yours to
Yeah.
give up or
Yeah.
keep. And when I tell you I love my peace.
Mm.
And if I could tell you some of the stuff that I've been through, look, and someone asked me that
Yeah.
yesterday, after everything that you've been through, how can you still walk around like, and I said, because the peace that when you really gain the level of peace that we were created to have,
Mhm.
you'll realize that happiness is not tied to anyone on this earth.
It's not. It's
Absolutely not.
I am grateful to have discovered that, and I can't tell you the process because it happens as you go through the process.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
If you let it,
You got to allow it.
you gotta allow it.
You have to permit yourself. And I think a lot of us as people, particularly women, we don't permit ourselves. We feel guilty. We feel bad. Oh man, did I say that right? Did it come out right? What they thinking about it? You know what I'm saying? Ooh, I can't help them. Ooh, we don't like to say no. So we have to really, really come into that peace.
Yes.
I want to talk about that a little bit more. When we come back, we done dealt with the kidneys, we done dealt with the pancreas, we could deal with a whole lot of the organs, but I'm going to move a little bit more down into that vagina talk.
Yeah.
As you have this wonderful business that helps women be able to maintain and purify their sacred place.
Yeah.
All right. This is Dee Collins, Dee Speaks You Think. I'm here with Celeste Curry, rolling out live. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with you.
Hey, it's your girl, Lipstick.
And it's your boy Cognac.
And we are Lipstick and Cognac, your dynamic relationship duo, where we talk all things relationship every Tuesday
From 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
on rollingout.com and Rolling Out Live via Facebook. Y'all, what we talking about, Cognac?
We talk about it all. We talk about the cheating, the people that do right, don't do right, the people that might want to slap your head on your mama, your daddy, your sister, your uncle.
I don't know about
knowledge.
slapping my mama, but we gonna talk about it all, y'all. Make sure you check us out every Tuesday. It's gonna be lit.
It's going to be
See
a
you
fun
there.
time. Ow.
30 million people have been diagnosed with diabetes and 75 million with high blood pressure. Let's talk about the importance of cleaning the blood. 50 years of scientific research have shown that garlic, when taken in the right amount, can help to lower blood pressure, sugar level, and cholesterol, all while providing energy. How? Through cleansing, regulating, and replenishing the blood. Garlic alone is powerful, but for over 41 years, we've discovered that by combining garlic, aloe, and parsley together, we help the body to clean the blood even better.
Well, welcome back to Dee Speaks You Think right here on Rolling Out Live. And yes, we have been having some great dialogue, so I hope you have been a part of the show. But yet, if you're just tuning in, I am Dunamis D, and I am here with the one and only Celeste Curry, and we're getting ready to go into some more talk, but it's going to be now vaginal talk. Because what is your business again? The PurVag.
PurVag, where we help women nurture their sacred space.
Tell me why. I want to know your why for that.
Oh, my why for that, because as a natural health practitioner, I've seen so many women come in with fibroids, with menstrual problems, with infertility, with so many different issues. And no matter what they do, they haven't been able to get relief until we deal with the emotional aspect of it. And then they can release things can dissolve, all sorts of things happen.
So
just
do
by
you
dealing with
actually do the therapy? How do you exactly deal with them with the emotional aspect of it that connects to the PurVag? What's their process?
Very good question. So if someone comes
Thank you.
in, yeah.
Very good question. Thank you.
Very good. If sometimes people will call and they don't live in the area, so they can't come in for an actual assessment. But if they do, then there's a series of tests that I do. And once I do those and I know the issues that they have, I immediately shift to anything. And I know we're getting into the next part with this because the vagina is affected by all of your reproductive organs are affected by unresolved issues in relationships.
Yeah.
And so then we deal with that, and miraculously the reproductive organs respond and they begin to heal.
I'm coming for my assessment. I want to know what's going on down in my vajayjay.
We talk about it straight. Look,
Hey, look, you know I ain't got no problem with
I
that.
know, and
right?
women don't mind. Women
Women want some straight real talk. You know what I'm
They
saying?
do. They
do.
do.
You know, I've had, that religiosity stuff just really it pisses me off. But I'm not gonna let it shift my emotions, negatively. But how we just our minds have been trained to be so passive in a way that you don't really know who you are and speak freely about the things that's happening to you.
Or relate
And
everything down there to sex.
And how did you get here?
Yeah.
Through sexual intercourse.
It is, but the vagina is so much more than a sexual organ.
But this is what we were trained to look at. Oh, it's just there to procreate. Many people, Celeste, I'm kind of crazy. I told one gentleman, he was liking me or whatever. And I was like, you know what? If I even thought you was for me, I would have you look at my vagina to see if I was your woman.
Huh? All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I ain't for everybody. You understand what I'm saying? That's a sacred place. And it don't mean, I'm just trying to live all holy and celibate or whatever. I have to think and understand every time something comes, you're entering into my emotions. You're entering into my sacred place. You know what I'm saying? But you need to be able to identify who you are with and who you're supposed to be with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when Adam looked at woman and he said, this is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, he looked at the vajayjay. Now, many people ain't going to want to know that, but I can teach about it. And I told you I'm going to try not to teach today.
Yes, you did.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because if you really took time and dissected, we have a certain thing in our mind of what we think it was. And you really got to go back and dissect it. And I was like, God, this is not really working. The way that we think with life and relationships and the rate of divorce and how we're distorting one another and we're just changing shoes changing people like we're changing shoes, it's not coming out right.
Yes.
So I had to sit back and really do some from a spiritual perspective.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Of who we say and whom we say we love. We're not representing very well.
Yes.
Agree or disagree?
Got it. Agree.
So that's why I'm very intrigued about you taking this business and doing what you're doing to help women. And I don't know, everyone has their place, like with Dr. Laura, myself, you, and whomever is in that line of work as it connects, emotional, sexually, whatever. We can complement one another to really, really help women become empowered spiritually. I would love to do what you do. I'm sitting up here thinking about, I'm like, should I go back to school or whatever? And Holy Spirit said, no, stay in your lane. You know what I mean? Right now, stay. Because I'm so intrigued. I'm so intrigued about it. Talk about that, from your own experiences of the women being healed emotionally through their sacred place, what they're discovering, what they're finding, what are the contributing factors,
So healing takes place in reverse order. So whatever you encounter on the way to we'll say illness or disease or imbalance, you encounter on the way back. So as they go through this emotional process, and then of course natural things, we got to change the diet.
Yes, most definitely.
Everything ain't for the vagina that we eat.
Ooh.
So, what they eat, what they're thinking, we talk about all of that. But so as they get on that journey, on their way back to healing, they could feel some anxiety. They could feel some unforgiveness, things they thought they had gotten through. They're going to experience that again. This time they have wisdom and knowledge
Yes.
to welcome it and allow it to come up. So this time they can be released. Okay.
So they can feel it, they could take ownership of it and rightfully release it.
And rightfully release it. Absolutely.
See, that's spiritual authority.
Yes.
Rightfully release it. But you got to feel it, you got to take ownership, and you got to release it.
Right, because oftentimes, especially when you're dealing with unresolved issues in relationships, there can be so much blame. Well, he cheated, right? He did this. He ruined my everything, right? At some point, when you realize that you're hurt, you have to take ownership of it. I feel hurt, not he made me hurt. And once you take ownership of it, then you can begin to take ownership of the complete process of healing, and it can happen. But women oftentimes don't do that. They get stuck.
They get stuck. And
in the what he did.
In the
yeah.
Would you say that again? I almost slapped you right there. We do get stuck in the what he did. I'm saying that because 90, and I don't know how many come your way that have experienced betrayal, but I was telling Dr. Laura when I was talking to her, about 99%, 98, and even with herself and her practice, they come because of betrayal. You know,
absolutely.
And they get stuck up with the what he did. You know, and even myself experiencing the betrayal, the cheating, I could not put the blame on him. I couldn't take the blame for his actions, but I had to sit back and look at myself and go through my process, take ownership of what I was feeling, and even some of the things that I could have contributed.
Absolutely.
And that's real talk.
Yes.
Without justification. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Without justification.
Say it again.
And I tell women that and they get so pissed, because they so in the blame game. In the blame, it doesn't justify, but you can't make yourself seem like you're superior and they're inferior because of their actions.
Right.
Because a lot of stuff we bring from our past.
Right. Oh.
We bring from our past.
Some people are their past.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a different year.
Yeah, that's the truth. Elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, because when you get stuck, you'll be stuck attracting the same things. Absolutely. The body does it. That's the reason why, my long story. I'm going to give the short version. But after I went to graduate school for psychology and I became a therapist, I was super excited about it. And I felt, I love being a therapist, don't get me wrong. I still felt like something was missing. And so then I remembered, my story from when I was 15 years old, but I remembered that whole thing came up. Yeah. And I said to God, why would you allow me to go to school all these years to become a therapist and then tell me to go into natural health? And then he told me that if I were to just give them herbs and change their diet, their mind would take them back to the earlier state of illness.
Most definitely.
Right.
Most definitely.
Right. So if we don't work on the emotions, you will be right back there attracting exactly what you were attracting, all the disease, the same people, the same everything.
The same people, and not more so the same disease physically, but the same dis-ease that's in your soul, you're going to attract. The law of attraction, like kind, attract like kind. So you're wondering why and I tell people, even with women in my Understanding Your Greatness coaching program, I said, because I'm on this, I have the webinar that I'm doing, How to Fight for My Husband and Win. Yeah. And I just get rid of them. I said, and you can. I said, God ain't mad with you. Make a decision on what you want to do. But if you don't deal with your emotions, if you don't deal with your PAST, if you don't deal with you, you're going to attract the same thing. Different pants, different penis, different look, but the same issues.
Yeah.
Because you attract what's in you. You attract where you are in life.
And how you show up for people. So if you show up as the project fixer, you will continue to attract projects.
And if you keep looking at the potential.
Yeah. Yeah. That oftentimes women are in love with their potential.
In love with the potential, but goes back to the project fixer.
Yep.
Because I feel good about myself when I can fix this project or even control this man.
Yes.
Because I'm insecure. I don't know how to govern myself, so I have to control someone else. And when the kids get bigger and I can't control them, I got to find another kid to control. Because a lot of them are stuck as a little boy because their emotions are not.
Theirs aren't, because oftentimes we pick up where their mothers left off.
You got a penis stew? You got a
now, why? Look. Let me
got
tell
a vaginal stool. Do you have a penis
Now,
stew?
let me tell you what's interesting. I have men asking me, and a lot of these men are straight, ask me, do you have one? So we actually did kind of come up with one for the men, and that was just because they have issues back there between hemorrhoids and all that. We don't actually, I don't actually advertise that one, but when I'm asked, I do make sure that I can supply that need for them because the men want some love too.
You know what? And I'm moving into the men. You know what I'm saying? I've been working with women for 30 years. God bless my soul. But the men are hurting. The men want some love. They want some understanding because they keep attracting something in them. Keep attracting the same old kind of underdeveloped woman. And I say that from an emotional state.
And then there's so much that goes into the development of the brain. And there's so many things that happen to men and women, but we're talking about men. Men during those ages where their brains are supposed to develop. The brain is supposed to be completely developed by 25.
Oh, for real?
But when...
but I'm seeing a bit over 50, and I'm like, you still
now,
12.
That doesn't mean they have it together. It means that if they haven't completed what they need to at different stages, and they don't see anything wrong with it, they're not healed. So at 25, it doesn't mean healed.
Help me out. What's the completed at the different stages?
It means the brain is supposed to be fully developed, having the capacity to reason and deal with life as it should. But when things happen in someone's life that they don't get through and don't get over, then they end up being stuck trying to figure things out. And so if they still need mama, they attract someone that is going to kind of be mama.
And just like women can be underdeveloped, I think in some cases you could be overdeveloped. When I say that, that means you're thinking more highly of yourself than you really are.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Because you can, for instance, I can say because men were made in the likeness and the image of God, yet we all were, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes when you don't feel that you need him and you are your own God, you understand what I'm saying? You are being overthinking, overdeveloped in areas that still are underdeveloped. But you're flexing.
And I think it's for the man and the woman, because when a man shows up respecting himself,
correct,
and loving himself, then respect is definitely subjective, individual. It's a choice that we have to make to respect. I get that all day long. But when you show up on point, able to take care of yourself and extend to us, because I don't think we complete each other. We're complete
when you show up
at the same time. You got to show up respecting yourself.
But I'm not going to let you. And I could just speak personally for me. This is my choice, and this is what be based upon what I believe. Let's go back to the betrayal, okay? Because even when I experienced that with my husband, I chose not to lose the respect for him.
Absolutely, it's a choice.
I chose that. Now, he wasn't able to handle that. You know what I'm saying? But I chose not to go off, act emotionally crazy, deal with the thing, even my own self. You know what I'm saying? I had to do work. You know what I mean? I did not go into the blame game. You know, still occupied my position as a wife to give him what he needed from that occupation. You know what I mean? And that profession, and still stand up in the authenticity of who I am as a woman.
Yeah.
Did it hurt? Yes, but I had to be woman enough, grown enough, spiritual enough to say, D, deal with your own feelings. Don't project your pain, you know what I'm saying, on anyone, and it doesn't matter. But I still gave him the respect of who he is. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think any respect can be earned because we're imperfect people. But it's like yourself, you know. I respect you for who you are. You have shortcomings. You know what I'm saying? You have flaws. You're not perfect.
How did you know?
Because we're all human. You know what I'm saying? You made from dirt. But regardless of what I've discovered about you, regardless of what I come to find out about you, it's my choice to say I respect Celeste for who she is.
Yes.
You are a powerful woman. You are a dunamis woman. You know, and I give unto that as I would want someone to give to me. Now, let's work with the things that come up, you know what I'm saying, depending on where our relationship stems from and how we are being in a relationship. But still, I'm not going to change my mind about who you are.
Now, that's a healthy place to be.
Okay.
Right? Because you're protecting yourself.
Most definitely. And it goes back to my mind and my choices. I refuse to allow someone else's actions diminish who I am.
Right.
and cause my mindset to change where I'm moving in lack
Yeah.
and not abundant living.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you find in that case your circle becomes few.
Yeah. And guess what? And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Because I tell people, those few around me,
They're
oh,
powerful.
My gosh.
They're powerful.
Yes.
I have learned to love quality relationships far greater than quantitative.
Yes.
Because
Any day.
any day, just give me one. And if you really, if you really have experienced some things in life, if you could say that you got one good friend, one that really the loyalty has been proven.
Yes.
I ain't talking about being a friend because y'all met on a boat and on a cruise and went somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about
The test of time.
a test. You're blessed. Because that's very far few in between. Just because we catty, let trials come. Let challenges come. You'll find out who really loves you. You'll find out who really is in your corner. You'll find out it didn't come because everything is going well.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get back to a little bit before we go on break. Let's go back into the sacred place.
Yes. Yes. The
Okay.
vagina.
The vagina.
Yes.
Why you sound like that, Celeste?
Because
The vagina. Yes.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yes. Go ahead. Why you sound like that though?
you know what? It's interesting because it's the word that so many people don't want to say. It's like they really don't want to say it. They think, and I want people to be able to, when they hear that word, I want them, because yoni is another word for the reproductive organs there, and it means sacred space. And that's not a new term. Women have been doing vaginal work through emotions for thousands and thousands of years. China and Africa have been on point with this.
Yes.
In fact, I met a Chinese man that saw one of my yoni stools, and he said, "Oh my gosh, my mother always did that when I was a kid." And I was like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, she wanted to make sure that her health stayed intact." And I said, "Well, tell me more." I just wanted to see what he knew. He said, even if it wasn't something related to the vagina, she would sit on it covered up. He said if she felt like she was coming down with anything, physically or emotionally, she just used it. And I was like, wow, that's powerful. Just it says I love myself. Every time you take care of your vagina, and you've gone through so much, and it has to hold every unresolved issue, every ounce of unforgiveness, anything that's happened. And when I say unresolved issues in relationship, that's mommy, that's daddy. That's Uncle so-and-so that used to sit on his lap. That's ex-boyfriend.
That's all of it.
Ex-husband, whomever. It's
well,
everyone.
it's because everyone was created because of the penis entering into the vagina. You can't take that away.
Right.
Those are principles. We don't like to talk about it. We don't like to think about it. As when I went on my Healing for My Soul tour, I was having every woman. I said the first thing before we deal with our unresolved issues, you're gonna praise God for the penis. And they looked at me,
and it's good too. The penis is good.
But the thing is, if it wasn't for that, I would not have been here to come through the vagina.
Yes.
See, I had to shift their paradigm. I know what I was saying. I was going to shock their consciousness. You know what I'm saying? But I really want you to think deeper. I want you to think deeper because yet we all have some issues, not because, oh, this man hurt me or that man hurt me and that man. We are harboring so much in our sacred place.
Yeah.
Even the woman who birthed me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But realistically, she had a relationship with the man in order for me to be created.
Yes.
I come from the man.
Yeah.
But I came through the woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I came through her sacred place. And within that sacred place, it still was some toxics.
Absolutely. And remind me to,
You want me
share something?
You want me to share something? Okay.
No.
You can't share it now?
I can't.
It's going to take too long. We got to go to break. Okay. I just want to see if you was aware of that. Okay. But we're going to go to break. Celeste, hold that thought.
Yes.
It's a story, isn't it? We're going to let her share the story. I want to know what it is. You should want to know what it is. So don't go anywhere. This is Deep Speaks You Think. We're going to come back with more Vagina Talk with the one and only Celeste Curry and myself, Dunamis D. Talk soon. We'll be right back.
30 million people have been diagnosed with diabetes and 75 million with high blood pressure. Let's talk about the importance of cleaning the blood. 50 years of scientific research have shown that garlic, when taken in the right amount, can help to lower blood pressure, sugar level, and cholesterol, all while providing energy. How? through cleansing, regulating, and replenishing the blood. Garlic alone is powerful, but for over 41 years, we've discovered that by combining garlic, aloe, and parsley together, we help the body to clean the blood even better. You can clean excess sugar, cholesterol, and waste from the blood and promote better circulation. So don't delay, do it today. Get your bottle of GAP pills. Normally sells for $49.95, but if you use the promo word HEALTH, you get $10 off. Visit us at aloeheals.com or call us at 404-996-6942.
Hey, it's your girl, Lipstick.
And it's your boy Cognac.
And we are Lipstick and Cognac, your dynamic relationship duo, where we talk all things relationship every Tuesday
From 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
on rollingout.com and Rolling Out Live via Facebook. Y'all, what we talking about, Cognac?
We talk about it all. We talk about the cheating, the people that do right, don't do right, the people that might want to slap your head on your mama, your daddy, your sister, your uncle.
I don't know about
knowledge.
slapping my mama, but we gonna talk about it all, y'all. Make sure you check us out every Tuesday. It's gonna be lit.
It's going to be
See
a
you
fun
there.
time. Ow.
Welcome back to Dunamis D. Dunamis D Speaks You Think. I'm thinking I'm on Dunamis Woman today. D Speaks You Think right here, rolling out live. And I am a Dunamis woman. For you all who may not know, Dunamis means a woman who is full of miraculous power, a strength, an ability, a force. It's all within us, even in our vagina. And this is why we're here talking with Celeste Curry about Vagina Talk, who is the owner of PurVag. Now, Celeste, when we took a break, you said you had a story. I want you to go right into it before you forget.
Okay. Well, when I was pregnant with my last child, said I would never have a child over 30, and my last one came at 32. I was like, okay, Lord, here we go. But I ended up, and I ended up being angry. My husband couldn't accept that I was having another child. It was very interesting. We talk about the story now. It's not a biggie, but I rolled throughout that pregnancy by myself.
Yeah,
I was very hurt, to be going through so much by myself. And so the baby stopped growing in my stomach at 33 weeks. And
wow.
Yeah. So, but he came out just fine. Praise God. Everything was great. He got to be about 4 years old, and he started his skin from head to toe looked like the worst case of psoriasis. The bottom of his feet would crack and bleed. And I tried everything I knew naturally to do, and it would start going away, and it would come back fierce. And then finally, I said, oh, my gosh, I know that anything on the skin goes back to the liver, and the emotion that affects the liver is anger.
And you were angry when you got pregnant.
I was angry when I was pregnant. Not when I got pregnant. I was okay having another baby. I wasn't okay going through it by myself. And so at 4 years old, by the time he was 5, it was so bad. He would just cry. And so I said, baby, we were sitting down having a conversation one day, he and I, and he's hilarious. He's a comedian. So I said, he was saying that God speaks to him. And I just laughed. I was like, really, what has he ever said to you? And he said, and his whole demeanor changed. And he sat up and he said, he told me he would tell you what to do to get rid of this stuff on my skin.
Wow.
And I said, okay, we're going to have to deal with some emotions.
His emotions or your emotions?
Both.
Both.
Because it made it to him. I said, and you're going to have to drink something that tastes really bad. Because a lot of the herbs that are for the liver and blood is just really bitter. He said, okay, I'm going to be Superman. So we did that. I dealt with the emotions. I love emotional freedom technique. And I did that on me, a little bit on him. And it went away. And it never came back.
That's it.
And
right
according to the medical profession, you can't get rid of it. And he's 12 now. Never came back. His skin is just as perfect as it can be.
I believe everything that we need has already been created
Yes.
naturally if we just know how to use it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to go back to your story because
He came through and he experienced all that on
all
the
that
inside.
the emotions.
He came through me.
So
and
your vagina was holding toxics.
Oh, yeah. Because the thing
Can
about
you imagine
anger,
how many babies been born out of damaged emotions?
out of
Babies are
damaged
born.
emotions.
I mean, I'm talking about myself too. I discovered my mother did not want me when I buried my daddy.
Oh, wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm thinking I was conceived, because they were married when I was born. But I discovered when I buried him that she was 8 months or 7 months pregnant when they got married. So evidently, I wasn't no conceived love child. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine what emotions. May she rest in peace now. And see, back then, they don't talk about their emotions.
No.
That we were taught, we'll go in this house, stay in this house, harbor, don't talk about anything.
Children are seen and
Children
not
are
heard.
seen and not heard. You get something wrong, they whoop you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is why I'm such an advocate on it, because we're continuing this cycle, and we're repeating this of what is coming, and our children are becoming more and more emotionally damaged because of our stuff. They got their stuff, but we also part of that.
Yes.
And what they have come through. You know what I'm saying? So that healing part. So even those abandonment issues, that was huge for B.
Yeah.
OMG. That rejection and that abandonment, it took a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it's the initial part that takes the most work.
Oh, Jesus.
Then after that, you can coast
I
a
can-
little.
I-
You can coast a little
yes,
bit.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And
yes.
when the healing takes place.
Yes, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is, and oftentimes parents don't accept that there's anything for them to do. And I had to accept there was something. I apologized to him.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with apologizing to your children.
Children,
It
yeah.
helps them get to the place where they feel healing is possible for them, that they're worth an apology.
Yes, yes.
So I apologized to him because although I still had choices to make, now I manage anger. I choose it.
Yeah.
That pregnancy, I didn't make all the right choices.
Yeah.
Despite what anyone else was doing. So when I apologized to him, he got on board. He did his emotional work.
That's it.
I did mine. I had to do the bulk of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it transferred to him. And when I tell you, it's been 5 years. Perfect skin.
Awesome.
That went on for 2 years.
And so I can't even imagine, as he continues to develop as a man, how powerful his mind is going to continue to just grow and grow with so many ideas and things that God gives him, because God speaks to him. And it's very critical that he ends up with a woman with a vagina.
She will have one.
She will have one. You know what I'm saying? But she has done the PurVag work.
Yes. I got to make sure.
You got to, yeah, no, I'm so serious.
Here's the questionnaire you give her, baby.
Here's the questionnaire, and tell her come sit on the stool.
Right. That's what we're going to talk. She's going to be on a yoni stool when we have our conversation.
With the oils and the herbs. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right. That's
Get
right.
rid of those emotions, because you never know what vaginal process she came through and what her mother was harboring within her mind and her emotions and her soul, that came through that. That sacred place that can easily become tainted if we don't deal with those emotions.
Yes.
That's so deep.
It is. It is powerfully liberating, though, to get that. It really does not have to take long. That went on for 2 years. You would think once he was born that he was disconnected from anything that happened. And that's not true. It's at conception.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And even when I work with women from a spiritual standpoint of healing and deliverance, a lot of those things we talk about, because we have been rejected from the womb. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. You may not really believe that you wasn't wanted. You know what I'm saying? But when that woman can get that thing in her head, you're pregnant. What happens to those emotions?
Yeah.
What happens to those
Say
emotions?
It again. What happens?
What
They
happens
go
to
right
those emotions? Yeah.
down here. Now they go there even if you're not pregnant.
Yeah, they do.
Now, it being pregnant, though,
Yeah.
they go down there and there is a recipient
Yeah, it's a recipient. Yes,
The baby
yes,
is a
yeah,
recipient
yeah,
now.
Yeah, yeah.
for those.
And that's one thing that because I could not literally have children, and maybe you could tell me what was going on with me then, but my reproductive system was just totally, my uterus was just totally torn, and I couldn't hold a child at all. And so my blood was orange, not red, orange. I was that much anemic, and I want to know what that's connected to. But I mean, I'm good now.
Well, so many emotions poison the blood, but anger is a primary emotion and it dumps. So for every teaching moment, for every
Yeah.
5 minutes
Yeah.
of anger, it takes the body 30 minutes to get rid of the poisons from the blood. So
Wait, say that one more
imagine
time.
For
Say that one more.
every 5 minutes of anger,
Well, we got some poisonous blood.
for
We got
every
some- and where through the penis, it's released blood. Am I right?
well, you got veins and everything.
Yeah,
No,
no,
that's-
go ahead. Okay,
but
go
for
ahead.
every 5 minutes of anger,
Uh-huh.
it takes the body 30 minutes to get rid of the blood, the poisons in the
Okay,
blood.
okay.
So imagine being angry for 10 minutes, for 30 minutes, for 3 years, for 30 years. So that dumps in. And imagine then having that pregnancy. A lot of pregnancy are oops. Come on now. Two
Yeah,
out of three of
come on
mine.
now.
Right. Now but
Many pregnancies are oops.
they are
oops.
oops,
Mhm.
but once you get through the oops, you can get to love. It's
Yes, you
mine.
can, you
But
can,
some
you can.
women don't, and abandonment begins to take place in the separation, from the child. So that dumping into the blood right
Correct,
there
correct.
can cause every issue that you had with your blood. Because you didn't have a mother like I knew a lot by the time, my son was
Mm-hmm.
up some size. I was already a natural health practitioner. So I was able to have the conversation with him that a lot of women couldn't have with their children.
Which is why they need you.
Which
Which is why they need you. You know what I'm saying? I need you. You know what I'm saying? but
I
it's,
got you.
and it doesn't matter how much I may think I know. It doesn't matter how much work I do with other women. It doesn't matter how much I know how to spiritually dissect to apply. As a woman, I still need more healing.
I do too.
We all do.
And I'm always.
And it's a
yeah,
forever process.
It is.
Because anger is in the blood. It has been there, and I mean, you could be angry when that life is conceived. The oops pregnancy. But when that child comes, the joy comes.
Yeah.
But then when the growing up process comes, and you have to raise him or her by yourself, and you got the pressures of life, and you got things coming, and the bills, and all this other stuff, that a lot of that blood and that anger could manifest,
Yes. Yes.
which contributes more to the emotions that's going on within them already. That's why women, mothers, we need to be healed
Yes.
for
Absolutely.
the sake of our children.
Yeah, and know that we're worth it. We we see the pictures of the women carrying everyone. You see those pictures and the paintings of women carrying people on their backs. That's what we do, and it's okay not to. Like I went through that guilty
Yeah.
stage,
Yeah.
as a mother. I mean, I gave up everything. I stopped working to raise mine for quite some time, and if I did something for myself, I felt guilty until one day I had a conversation with myself because I thought I was on my way out of here, and it was anxiety. And from that day, I said, "Oh, heck
So
no!"
even though you stayed home and was working with them and raising them, you still had your own stuff.
I
you
still
still
had
had
my
that
own
own-
stuff.
yeah, you had
some of
that
that
inside.
stuff just had to be kind of buried
Ba-
for a minute,
right.
till I came back out
right,
with
right.
it. But when I realized that healthy them is having a healthy mom,
It is.
I needed to be able to do me and be okay and come back, go away,
Yeah.
and come back.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm teaching them how to love themselves.
And I believe I started my emotional healing process of a lot of things. First of all, the main thing that I had to get rid of was the traditions of how I was raised, the religiosity of what I was taught to believe in. You know what I mean? And I knew it wasn't working. I had to extricate a lot of that out of my mind, to find me, to start going within me. And I think my children probably was about 7 or 9 at that time, but I'm saying that because even though I wanted them and I had that happy moment, I'm pregnant, because I couldn't, and they were little miracles, I still had some of my own issues. If I could do it over again, I would not work. You know what I'm saying? I would have taken them, nurtured them more. I wasn't nurtured, so I didn't know how to nurture. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, and you could still be happy and they not having that oops pregnancy, because I didn't have a oops pregnancy. I was a surprise pregnancy. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, I passed out when they told me I was pregnant, you know, literally, because I would never believe it happened. But still, out of my own stuff, I still did some things that I needed healing for prior to those things. But as they became teenagers, they began to grow with me.
Yeah.
From an emotional healing standpoint. You know, they still have their own stuff that they still have to work with themselves. But I was able to impart into them and to be able to speak to them and to be able to deal with matters a little bit differently. They were damn near grown, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful, and it's still happening now.
Yes.
You know, and that's the beautiful part about our relationship
Yes.
with my daughters, is because we can face our stuff.
Yes.
And we
I
can
love it.
and we can deal with it together. And sometimes they have to deal with their own stuff, but I know how to guide them and speak to them and not get frustrated.
Yeah.
But it was rough the first 5, 6, 7 years of their life. You know, they had a hard life with me, you know, because I ain't let nothing go, you know. But it was out of my pain, it was out of my frustration. You know, nobody's perfect, and we have to allow ourselves. I think sometimes as mothers, we still feel shame.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that's connected to. What's that connected to?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, that's your own stuff coming up. Oftentimes, that's that mirror.
That's that mirror.
That's that mirror.
That's that mirror.
Yeah.
You know,
we do want to prevent them from everything, but the way that we do it is because we're dealing with that mirror and we impose all that stuff, you know, on them.
This has been very enlightening. We're going to take another break, but I want you all to really, really know that this vaginal talk is real.
It is.
The vagina. Everybody say vagina. Let's
Vagina.
say vagina. One more time, Celeste.
Vagina.
It's very real. It's more than just an entrance place for you to have a good feeling. And many of you all as women, let's keep it real. Somebody enter in, but you don't get nothing out. Okay.
Ooh, remind us to talk about inability to orgasm and the emotions.
That's a whole nother. That's gonna have to be a comeback. That's gonna have to be a comeback. I can't do that in the last 3 minutes, girl. You crazy?
Oh, is that 3 minutes left?
You know, we're gonna have to come back for that one.
Oh, okay. I didn't say that. Delete that part.
Right. But it is
So we
more
have 3
than
minutes
just that.
until it's over.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do
No,
that
we
one.
can't, because
We
you're
can't
going to
do
come back with your closing marks. But
Okay.
we're going to come back. But I want you all to know it's more than just an entrance in and you're not getting anything out. It's tied to your emotions. Life and relationships are real. And there's nothing that you are not having in a life and a relationship with a man that really, or a woman that's not dealing with sex. Okay. I am Dunamis D Collins. D Speaks You Think. We'll be right back for our final segment.
Hey, it's your girl, Lipstick.
And it's your boy Cognac.
And we are Lipstick and Cognac, your dynamic relationship duo, where we talk all things relationship every Tuesday
From 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
on rollingout.com and Rolling Out Live via Facebook. Y'all, what we talking about, Cognac?
We talk about it all. We talk about the cheating, the people that do right, don't do right, the people that might want to slap your head on your mama, your daddy, your sister, your uncle.
I don't know about slapping
knowledge.
my mama, but we gonna talk about it all, y'all. Make sure you check us out every Tuesday. It's gonna be lit.
It's going to be
See
a
you
fun
there.
time. Ow.
Did you know 30 million people have been diagnosed with diabetes and 75 million with high blood pressure? Let's talk about the importance of cleaning the blood. 50 years of scientific research have shown that garlic, when taken in the right amount, can help to lower blood pressure, sugar level, and cholesterol, all while providing energy. How? Through cleansing, regulating, and replenishing the blood. Garlic alone is powerful, but for over 41 years, we've discovered that by combining garlic, aloe, and parsley together, we help the body to clean the blood even better. You can clean excess sugar, cholesterol, and waste from the blood and promote better circulation. So don't delay. Do it today. Get your bottle of GAP pills. Normally sells for $49.95, but if you use the promo word HEALTH, you get $10 off. Visit us at aloeheals.com or call us at 404-996-6942.
Welcome back to D Speaks You Think. You all real talk about life and relationships, which only includes sex. And so we are here, and we've been talking about vagina talk. We have had talk about the pancreas, the kidneys, the intestines. But she really, you all blowing up on social media when she said the word orgasm. Okay, so we're gonna come to a closing. But Celeste, you cannot leave us hanging like that. But you're gonna have to come back.
Okay.
So we can go more in depth. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Talk about it.
I apologize for mentioning it.
No, go ahead.
But just briefly, a lot of women contact because they have inability to orgasm. Some women in their 40s have never had an orgasm, or they're not consistent.
With 6 kids.
With 7 kids. And so they don't realize that oftentimes there's something it's subconsciously that they've been living and reliving that tells them that they don't deserve to experience pleasure. And they don't even know it. They'll be like, oh, no, that's not me. No, that is you. You know, and you don't realize it for many different reasons that we don't have time to get into. But I'm so excited. Thank you for having me. I'm Celeste Curry. Again, you can find me with PurVag.com, where you can go on and find some of our great yoni steam products and herbs, and you can reach me there.
Celeste, I want my vaginal stool.
You do.
I do. I'm gonna get it from you. I'm gonna work with you. You're gonna work with me.
Yes.
I have an expectancy for this great man and this husband to come into my life. Well, I'll say great man. I ain't got to the husband part yet. You know what I'm saying? But the great man.
Yeah, and our herbs are so high frequency herbs. So
I
you're
get
not
some of
gonna
these
have to worry
old
about it.
Negroes out my vaginal.
Yes. You got to
I
get the
some of these-
old ones
I gotta
out.
get the old ones out my vagina. My vagina. Clean them up.
And then all of our herbs come with tightening packs. So at
Okay.
the end, you put them in, and that's to make sure the vagina retains its elasticity. So we'll get you right.
You gonna get me right?
I'll get you right.
Because Big Daddy gonna have a good time. You know, I'm telling you. You know, because realistically, in closing, you all, but I'm gonna say this: I know what it is that emotional healing awakens you, and this is why I am doing my sexual healing challenge coming up in August. I'm putting it out there now because it does awaken you sexually. You know, and having that experience and loving the experience of me understanding I require, need, deserve the pleasure of an orgasm.
You do.
You know, I mean, seriously.
I mean, God created that pleasure from this mouth to the other mouth. I mean, it's all
and
pleasure.
but it's also a place of releasing even the more. You know what I'm saying? Because you're holding it in. Well, that's it for today, you all, because we can go more and more and more. But I am D Collins. I am Dunamis D. Follow us on social media at Dunamis, Dunamis woman, at Dunamis woman. Instagram, D Speaks You Think. That's YOU, D Speaks You Think. And always follow us on all social media. And they can follow you how on social media?
Yeah, social media, Facebook, you can follow me at PurVag.
PurVag,
LLLP on there.
Pure Patch. All right. So we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for watching. We'll be back with you again. God bless you. Celeste, thank you again.
Thank
and
you
all
guys
have a wonderful
so much.
day. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Very well.